sell my town. My town.
Hello, welcome back to Connecting Clarkston. This is Season 3, Episode 6. Katie and I are very happy to be sitting down once again. This is not our first meeting with Amy Darnell, the Executive Director of SCAMP. And we're very excited to see you again and have you on and chat with all good things that are happening in the SCAMP world. I know this is a really important year for SCAMP, so we're very excited to get this interview and this podcast episode going and hear all about the fantastic things coming up. So welcome back.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yay. I think most people in Clarkston are very aware of SCAMP. I'm assuming, but for the 3 or 4 people that don't know possibly what SCAMP stands for and what it's all about, can you give us a brief description?
Yes, SCAMP is a special needs camp for children ages 3 and to adulthood. We've been around for 50 years now, so the Clarkston community has been very accepting of us. We have a camp that will begin in June and run till the end of July. And the kids will have the week of July 4th off. So we basically have this wonderful camp to give them an adventure for the summer, to have field trips and outings and art classes and music classes and just generally having a great, fun summer.
And go ahead.
How many weeks is it total then?
It's a 5-week camp.
5 weeks,
We have the
okay.
week of the 4th off, so we begin June 23rd and end July 30th.
Nice.
And so the people that you serve, are there limitations to who can be in your camp, or how
No, there's not. We accept all certifications. We don't have a limit. And we also, for students who need it, will have a 1-to-1 ratio of scamper to counselor, if you will. So we see pretty much you name it, we have it.
Yeah.
And our staff is incredibly well trained to be able to deal with all types of behavior and really get these scampers out there and enjoying the camp and doing what they should be doing.
How did SCAMP 50 years ago, how did it start?
Actually, we just filmed that here
Oh,
not
did you?
too long ago.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
So
Shout out to Independence Television.
yeah, exactly. It started with a man by the name of Bob Brumback. He was working within the special ed department at Clarkston Schools, and he decided to, with the schools, decided to have this summer camp. And his supervisor at the time told him, you know, these things typically last a year or two, so don't get too wrapped up in if it doesn't keep going, which we were kind of giggling about that when we were filming his video. And it began as this basically a grassroots camp to service a population that at that time was not being serviced. We had a lot of mobility issues, hearing issues, sight issues at that time, because in 1975 autism hadn't been something that was diagnosed. So we saw a lot of those types of challenges, and they started out, I believe it was like 50 scampers, and within a couple of years they were up to a couple hundred. So, and it's just kept growing from there.
That's amazing.
Are there programs like this in other neighboring communities?
We are very unique. There are other SCAMP programs. There is one in Bloomfield Hills. I believe Rochester might have one as well. We are one that we are lucky enough to say, because of the fundraising work we do throughout the year, that we've never turned anyone away for financial reasons.
Wow.
We have, as I said, a 1-to-1 ratio, and we actually have scampers who come that need a 2-to-1 ratio. And we do offer that. That makes us very unique in the world of special needs camps. But there are a lot of opportunities out there. It's just we feel that we've serviced our population very well, and every year try to review what we've done well, some of the things we might not have done as well, and make those adjustments and changes to serve the population in the way that we need to.
Do you pull people from other community? Like, do people come?
Yes.
Okay, I guess.
Yes. So about 50% of our scampers come from within the Clarkston district.
Okay.
About 50% come from outside of it. We have people who drive in from Waterford, and we have others who drive in from Detroit.
Okay.
So, some people make the trek and
Yeah.
feel that it's really worth it and come back year after year.
That's awesome.
Well, I think last time we talked too, we were talking about what an amazing program it is for the students, but also for the caregivers.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about that part of it?
Yes. We offer that safety net for our caregivers. It gives them a little bit of respite, a way that they can kind of take a little bit of time to themselves and recharge, because caring for a special needs child is a full-time job. It's around the clock, and being able to entrust us with that child, whether it's a 3-year-old or a 35-year-old, to know that they're having fun, that they're safe, that they're well cared for, really, from what I've been told, helps them, and they look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
It's a big day in a lot of households when SCAMP applications open.
That's so amazing.
I know I was talking to somebody who is a counselor for the camp, and I was talking to her the day that you guys had gone on a field trip somewhere, you were on a bus, and she was telling me a little bit about that day, and it sounded very much like it's geared just around them having the best possible experience. And it was very like whatever her scamper wanted to do that day was not what was happening. And it was just like, and that's what we're going to do. I mean, it sounded, I want to go to that camp.
I know, right?
I think that that's amazing.
Yeah, we do, like I said, we have planned field trips. We spend at least one day a week at Groveland Oaks Park. The kids swim and they boat and they fish and do all kinds of fun traditional camp things.
Yeah.
But you will have that scamper who says, nope, not today, I'm not doing that. We had a scamper last year who loved to be on a bus, so that's what she did.
Yeah.
She rode the bus. We have other scampers that might not want to take part in whatever the planned excursion is that day. So we have, because of the 1-to-1 ratio, we can allow
A lot of flexibility.
allow that
Yeah.
flexibility to really serve what that scamper needs in the moment, and to make sure that, again, happy, healthy, and safe.
Where is home base for the camp?
We are now at Sashbaugh Middle School. Up until the summer of 2023, we were at the junior high. However, the junior high is undergoing a huge facelift right now.
Yeah.
So we have actually, we relocated to the middle school last year, and we'll be there again this summer.
Nice. So if there's indoor activities or people who don't want to go do the activity
Yes,
of the
and
day.
each one of our groups will have different activities that they do in a given day. We have music classes, we have art classes, we have large motor classes. We also have the big trikes, assisted
fun.
bikes for them to be able to ride. So there's a lot that we have going on. In addition, we've partnered with one of the classes at the high school, one of the engineering classes, and they're building lawn games, like lawn, big size Jengas and Connect Fours and different things
That's
like that,
fun.
to have more activities to keep the scampers occupied and happy while we may have some hours that they're at the building.
Oh, that's awesome. What, in the 50 years, this might be like an average question, in the 50 years you guys have been in existence, do you know about how many scampers have come through the program?
Thousands.
I know it's a huge number.
I mean, it's a huge number. I don't. We do have repeats. We have a lot of our scampers come back year after year. We have some scampers who have been coming to us for 40 years. So they've been there almost since the beginning. But it's thousands. It's between our employees that work with us during the summer and our scampers, thousands.
That's quite an impact.
It's huge.
know,
It really is.
It's a big deal. We should be celebrating it.
Yes,
I'm
and
happy.
we are.
And we are. Well, and it's not only the kids or the campers, but there's so many people who work at SCAMP, right? There's
Yes.
people. How many do you guys employ? How many volunteers? Like, this is a big impact.
It really is. So this past summer, we saw about 180 employees, and we had 165 scampers, I think.
Okay.
So yes, I mean, it impacts a lot. And so many of the people that come to us to begin working with us during the summers end up following the path into special education, to physical therapy, occupational therapy. So I think not only are we responsible for keeping our scampers happy, but we've turned a lot of people onto their professional career track, which is pretty exciting. And when we first moved to Clarkston, my next door neighbor was a little girl that she started out with volunteering with SCAMP, and then she moved into being a student aide, and then she was an adult aide, and now she's a special education teacher, and it all comes back to her time spent with SCAMP. So I've seen it firsthand how much we impact.
Yeah.
But you asked about volunteers as well, and this year we had about 140 volunteers that worked for us for about 2,000 hours.
That is
Wow.
nuts.
Yes. So
Are these volunteers, are a lot of those repeats also?
yes, we do have a lot of repeats. People who come and work with the camp, we have student volunteers that will come, that they can only be volunteers until then once they hit 15, they can actually be paid.
Okay.
So we do have people that start with us as a volunteer and then move all the way up. But we also have events that we look to volunteers, and we use both student and adult volunteers that come in and help us, and some are back every year to do the same job they did the year before. And but we always see new faces. This year there were quite a few new faces, so that's kind of exciting that we're hitting a whole new generation.
I did just see like your board members, right? Didn't you have some new people join your board?
We did. We just had
Yes.
2 new people join our board this year. I'm
Okay.
very excited about that.
Yeah.
And we're busy putting them to work. I already have them on committees, and actually just had a meeting with one of them today.
So how many full-time SCAMP employees are there? Like you're it?
Me.
Okay.
There's me. I have a marketing assistant that she works about 5 hours a week.
Okay.
She's phenomenal. What she can accomplish in 5 hours, other people would take, like me, would take hours. And literally, she was on maternity leave last summer, and I thought I was going to die. So when she said she was coming back, I about cried with relief. So there's just the 2 of us.
Okay.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
But so we rely heavily on our volunteers and our board members to really help us pull off what we accomplish.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much planning goes into it. I'm sure that's an understatement.
Yes. Yeah.
But the amount of fundraising events you have going on continuously also is pretty impressive. And I think it's impressive, like the community support.
Yes.
Like you were saying, there are so many people that have just been like very loyal to the program and year after year. And so tell us what events you have coming up.
Well, we have 2 really big events coming up this spring.
Okay.
Walk and Roll will happen on Sunday, May 18th, and we just got confirmation that we can be at the high school. We had to wait to make sure all those playoff schedules for the spring
We're gonna
that
work out.
we weren't going to interfere with them. So thankfully, Jeff Cozen just gave me the okay yesterday, so very excited about that.
Wait, so that's then not in downtown, not in Depot Park
No,
this time?
it's they changed it a couple years
Did they?
before I
Okay.
came on board, mostly because it was difficult to have that many people walking through town and keep everyone safe. So by having a contained area, it seems to go really well. Last year we had about 700 walkers and rollers that came, which was, I mean, we filled the stadium. It was great. And last year, in honor of the Olympics, we were the Walk and Roll Games. This year we are Scamp Fever in honor of Disco Fever because we are doing a throwback to 1975.
Nice.
So it'll be more of a vintage theme this year. But we're excited about that. We have a lot of programs and projects that are going on with our elementary schools to try to get that community involvement. Most notably, North Sashba Elementary is doing a full school academic service learning project. So every student in every grade level will be doing a project that's dedicated to SCAMP and learning more about SCAMP, our Scampers, and how they can give back to their community and become involved with Walk and Roll. There's a great program that's going on at Andersonville Elementary with their 3rd graders. We have a repeat program at Springfield Plains that they have their 1st graders do SCAMP Superheroes, and that's how they learn about SCAMP and our Walk and Roll. So there's a lot that's going on out there, which really helps get the word out and hit those younger generations that might not know exactly what they are. Maybe they've been to Walk and Roll, but they have no idea why. So now they learn a little bit more about that, and we create, hopefully, lifelong supporters. But the Walk and Roll will be a free event. We will have food trucks there for people who want a coffee, a Kona Ice, or a taco. And for every time that an individual walks around the track, they'll get a rubber band, and those rubber bands can be turned in for raffle tickets. Of course, additional raffle tickets will be for sale. We'll have t-shirts for sale. Orders will be available on our website starting in March. And then we have a dog contest, which is always a ton of fun.
Cute.
So it's a great community day, and it's a great way for a family to come out and enjoy the day and not have to spend a fortune. You can literally come for the day and not spend a penny. And that's really what it's all about, is really learning about SCAMP and supporting our Scampers.
I stopped up there for a little bit last year, and you had all of the t-shirts.
Yes, from every year.
From every year.
Because this has been going on. We're like in year 40 something that we've been doing the walk and roll.
Yeah, I was like, this is very cool.
Yeah,
like
it's
these
really
shirts are like
neat.
collectibles.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I really
They
did
are.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
really cool. And we have a lot of sponsorships and people that want to be involved. So it's great. We have Acceleration Fitness is coming and doing an obstacle course, because again, we're going back like old school, like you know, the vintage type of
Presidential
thing.
fitness.
Yes,
Are we gonna do,
exactly. That's kind of like
sit and reach?
Exactly. I'd love to see that. That'll be fun. That's one of the big things that we have coming up. And then 13 days later, we are bringing back our home tour.
That's very exciting.
Which was really exciting. The home tour was around for, I believe it was 35 years when they discontinued it back in 2017. So I started talking about doing this about a year and a half ago, thinking that, okay, this would be a great way to commemorate our 50th anniversary.
I think we talked about this on the last podcast.
Yeah, because that was one of the things. As soon as I took this job, and people are like, "What are you bringing back the home tour?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." So did some looking into that, and have a great committee that's working on that. And right now we have 9 homes.
Okay.
It will be a downtown Clarkston event, so it will be a walking tour of 9 homes in downtown Clarkston. Tickets are on sale on our website
So
now.
how does that work? It's one day.
It's one day. So the home tour portion, there's 2 different events that will happen that day.
Okay.
We have home tour and we have patrons night. The home tour will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be doing check-in in downtown Clarkston, which all of that information will come out.
Right.
And then people will have a map and be able to go to the homes that are on the tour and get a tour of the homes. And one of the things that I think is really cool is that I've partnered with our art teacher and our one of our LA teachers to bring in students. So we're using, the students have done art projects of the home, so we have paintings and different renderings of each of the homes. And then the students are also writing the histories of each of the homes, because most of these homes have a very deep history within Clarkston.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they all in the historical society or whatever?
It's a walking tour?
It's a walking tour.
Okay.
I believe all but one.
Okay.
But the house that isn't is really cool.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure.
Who doesn't want to go to all those houses?
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I've loved bringing in the students and giving the students a chance to build their portfolios, build their resumes, but also showcase their talents. And we have some really talented, excited students who have produced some amazing art and some great historical articles on the homes. So that tour will take place, like I said, on May 31st from 10 to 2. And then we'll have a couple of hour break, and then Patrons Night begins. And Patrons Night is a combination of the home tour. So they do have from 4 to 6, they can go through the homes. But then they will come to 90 North Main, which is the Union Joints, used to be the high school back in the day. And that is where we are having our big celebration party for our 50th anniversary.
Wow.
So that building, was it originally the Ford?
It was, yeah.
It was.
a manufacturing.
Then it was the high school.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Then it was the township building.
Yes,
And now it's Union Joints.
Yes.
So they're opening that up.
for us.
Wow, that is very cool.
Yes, yes.
What is it, like a gala event or what kind?
It is a
what's-
gala
It is,
event.
okay.
So it will be dinner, cocktails, entertainment, auctions, raffles, you name it. So
sounds very
it's-
fun.
It is a very fun evening. And it's, again, it will be our last one. This is our
This
one
is-
and only home tour. Where after this year, it will be retired, at least from SCAMP, forever.
So, okay, this is going to be a hot ticket. I feel like both of those. those
Yes.
events. So will they sell out? You know, when does the sale start for these tickets?
Tickets have already gone on sale.
They've already gone on sale.
And we are selling tickets.
Okay.
And we also have sponsorships that are available. And
Okay.
with the sponsorships, you get a certain number of tickets depending on the level of sponsorship you decide to purchase. And we do expect it to sell out. So we are urging people to come in quickly, but it typically happens with our events. People are interested, and then about the 2 weeks beforehand,
Yeah.
it's like this sudden
They panic.
flurry.
Yeah.
So
FOMO
yeah,
starts, like,
exactly.
uh-oh.
Like, oh, wait a minute. And I think it's hard. Like right now, we have this snowstorm coming today, and
Yeah.
it's February, and we're talking about May 31st.
I
That
know,
seems
yeah.
so far away. In my world, it isn't,
It will
because
be
like
here
you said,
quickly.
with the planning, the
Yeah.
spreadsheets and everything that we have in place, we've been working really hard on this for a while. I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a great way to celebrate Clarkston, but really to just support SCAMP. It's
What
such a great
is
organization.
Your budget. What is your yearly? Because I know I've seen a lot of your fundraising stuff happening online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us some
We have a
about
drive
how
this
much
year.
it costs to
Yeah.
keep a program like this running.
We have about a $700,000 operating budget.
Okay.
So
And it's all donations.
it's donations.
Okay.
It is grants. We get about
Okay.
7 different grants. And it's difficult for us because we are such a small program. We don't qualify to even apply for a lot of grants.
Okay.
Because we don't run the right amount of time, or we don't service the right population, or what have you. I mean, in actuality, our camp is 15 days a year. And my job all year is to raise enough money to have those 15 days so that no scamper is ever turned away for financial reasons.
Wow.
So that's something that we've stuck to for 50 years, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think we do an amazing job with the money that we get by giving a very unique experience and a happy adventure, as I like to say,
Yeah.
to our scampers. But everything is expensive.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane. Just in the almost 2 years I've been there, just the cost of some of the items that nothing has changed
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
the tickets that are coming in, the bills that are coming in are 40, 50, 60% higher than they were 2 years ago.
So I know you hold these events. You also, throughout the year, just have different fundraising opportunities.
Yes.
I think I've seen before, weren't you guys doing like an Amazon wish list?
Yes, so we will have actually 2 different Amazon wish lists going this spring.
Okay.
One will be for Walk and Roll because, as I said, Walk and Roll is a free event. We don't, if people want to donate while they're there, wonderful. But it is a free event, so we do put things that we need to be able to have Walk and Roll remain a free event
Yeah.
on this wish list. So that's one wish list that we will have releasing probably in March as well.
Okay.
And then we will have a wish list for the camp. So for people who want to support the camp directly, instead of, maybe they don't want to give, $10 or $200, but they want to get on Amazon and be able to buy all the fidget spinners we need, or
Yeah.
we need art supplies for a
Yeah.
class, or what have you. We will have that available as well starting in May.
And then also, I think with Kroger, right? Can't you set your Kroger card?
We have the
Okay.
Kroger Rewards, which I know almost every team and
Yeah.
nonprofit in Clarkston does.
Every school.
Yeah. So so that, but those little checks help.
Yeah.
So
And I think sometimes too, for people that want to help but maybe don't have the means to help, it's a pretty
Exactly.
like easy passive way just to.
Well, and that's the thing. When I started, we have these wonderful events, and they've been around forever. I mean, especially this year with being the 50th, I've gone back and really researched, and I think golf outing's been around for 30 some odd years. Like, Walk and Roll's been around for 40 years. Like, these are entrenched in our community. Of course, we're going to continue having them. But I wanted to try to find smaller events that maybe wouldn't cost quite as much.
Right.
And so luckily we've been able to partner with the North End Candle Market, and we've had 2 events there where people can come in and do a candle class, and every purchase, whether it's through a candle making session or just buying a card, a certain percentage of all proceeds that evening go to us. So we're looking to do more things like that as well, because the response has been huge. And the first one we had, it was like we filled 80 spots to make candles within like 2 weeks, and not one of those people, I shouldn't say not one of, I think it was like 5 people on that list had actually been to one of our big ticket events before.
Okay.
Oh,
So
that's
there's a
cool.
whole level of people out there that
Yeah.
want to be involved and support.
Yeah.
And we just need to figure out ways to allow them to support us.
That's great.
Well, I feel like having, Kate and I are from here, this is part of the whole
Yeah.
Connecting Clarkston thing. I feel like obviously SCAMP is so good for the families of special needs students and people, but for our community, I think we said this when we met with you last time, it has raised such an awareness from kids when they're in elementary and they know about it. And
Yes.
you learn about it through your whole school career here in Clarkston, and as a community we talk about it. So it kind of brings awareness to the special needs community and
Absolutely.
demystifies some of the things, and
Yes.
just that to me is so important too. And it's not, so I feel like it's just a community organization that you give, but it gives back. And
Yes.
I don't know, I think it's really unique and really special, and I think it's been good for everybody in
Yes,
the community.
I agree. It's the Clarkston community has really embraced SCAMP throughout the years, and it was interesting speaking to our founder Bob. He was saying that in the first couple of years that trying to find people to be able to work all summer at the camp, and he said I was having a hard time because some people had children that were out of school and they needed childcare. He's like, so I just told them to bring their kids. And so everybody that was working there brought their kids, and those kids then played with the Scampers all summer and like did all of these activities and adventures. And then when they went back to school and saw them in class, it caused this whole
Yeah.
again embrace of our program and of our Scampers, and really met that inclusion and making the community connection and including them and making them feel a part of Clarkston.
I think that's a huge deal.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
Very impactful. So what are some other ways besides coming to the home tour, which
We'll be
hopefully
there.
get tickets in time? Yeah, definitely want to make that. What are other ways, other things that you guys need help with? Any other volunteer opportunities, or just kind of a call to action, just in general?
We definitely can always use volunteers. We will have a Sign Up Genius coming out for our walk and roll, and that day, I think last year we had over 100 volunteers there that day, which is fantastic. I mean, we were not lacking for help that day. And we'll also be looking for some volunteers for the home tour with check-ins and such. But then we also have 2 other events in the year. We have our golf outing that will happen September 5th, and our Jingle Mingle, which will happen November 1st. Which we will need volunteers at some of those events as well. But so always watch our website and our social media, because we
Which
will put
is?
the ClarkstonSCAMP.org is our website, and we're Clarkston SCAMP on both Facebook and Instagram. So we do put those call to action out there. We're also, sponsorships, donations, however small. We've been lucky that we have people within the community that have gotten involved in many different ways. We had a student last year that she did, I believe it was her confirmation project with her church, that she did her project, and then the money that she made from that project she donated back to us. So it's no amount is too small. I mean, that's something that every dollar we make is another dollar I get to put toward a Scamper. Also, just if anyone knows of grants or opportunities out there that we don't, again, I'm a one-woman show, so having those ears and eyes open in the community of ways that we might be able to get involved or apply for grants within our community or within our state are really helpful as well.
Okay, that's good. And that's all on scamp.org? Sorry.
ClarkstonScamp.org.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll put links up to
for sure.
on all of our stuff. No, it's just so, it makes me feel like pride in our community when especially just talking about SCAMP, just because everyone's all in and everyone's 100 volunteers. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really hard to do, and it's a
And
very
50
unique
years
position.
for
Yeah.
it to have such a long-lasting impact that
Yes.
grew. I am excited to see the video.
Oh yeah, tell us about the videos. Yeah.
So this was a little brainchild that came last summer. I think it was last summer that I reached out to Independence Television and asked if they would be interested in helping us because I wasn't going to, I have no talent in that, that world, if they would be willing to help us create a video about the history of SCAMP. Something about, I mean, hitting 50 years for any organization is huge, but for one so small, I mean, this is a huge milestone for us. So I really wanted to be able to delve into that and learn more about, for me even, our organization. And luckily, our first SCAMP director was still around. The first camp director was still around, and they came and interviewed and talked about what they learned throughout the process.
Was it originally at Independence Oaks?
I think they did.
Because
They used to do overnights at Independence Oaks.
Yes,
I mean, it was crazy.
I think I was there. I feel like.
Did you work at SCAMP in the summer?
I volunteered. I almost think my Girl Scout troop volunteered there. There was,
Oh, probably.
yes. So I think now I'm excited to look back at that and
Yes.
see the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-part series. Did you say you did 3
we
videos?
broke it into 3 parts because once we started interviewing, we found that no one was going to sit there and watch a half-an-hour video. So Matt, who I was working with Independence Television, decided that he thought 3 parts would be good. So we have the history of SCAMP and talking about the 50 years and the start and how it started and how it grew. And then we have the impact video, which is talking to a couple of our families that have been involved with SCAMP and are huge SCAMP supporters. And then the final one is our future. Talking about how we stick around for the next 5 decades, you know, and make sure that SCAMP stays a vital part of the fabric of our community. I mean, that's so important to us, but it should be important to everyone in Clarkston. It sets us apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
coming on and chatting all about
Well,
this.
thank
I know
you.
we're very excited for
Yes.
what's to come. And I think we can cheers to 50 more years.
Yes, we definitely can.
5 more
Can
decades.
we? Just 5 more. Thanks, Amy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
This podcast is brought to you by Independence Television, located inside Clarkston High School. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Independence Television, Independence Township, or Clarkston Community Schools.